All right. This is a real estate guru TV podcast.
We're a TV show now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're about to be. My name is Mario Lloyd. I'm here with my co-host Ron B. Follow me, and Josh P.
Wow.
All right. So this is our second podcast, and I don't know if we properly introduced Mario on the first podcast. Mario is a real estate investor full time. He does not have a job. I constantly tell him don't ever get another job again. Mario has bought and sold. I don't know how many houses in the past 3 years, 4 years. How long has it been?
So it's technically it's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
2
So,
years.
how many houses have you bought and sold, like a flip, in the past 2 years?
I only sold 2 houses.
That's it?
That's it.
No.
I promise. That's
Okay.
it.
So how many current rentals do you have?
I have 6 rental properties. I have
Okay.
a total of 7 properties right now.
Okay. So you have 7 properties right now.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Ron B, follow me.
Oh, Ron B, follow me. Yeah, as far as my background, I'm just entrepreneur. I have my own business,
Okay.
staffing company. I used to do traditional investments like Forex and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Trading currencies, invested in precious metals, and I told you
Mm-hmm.
I did some speculating in cryptocurrencies where I did extremely well, and now I'm trying
Awesome.
to move over to
Real
real
estate.
estate so
There
I can
you
get
go.
some passive income.
Awesome. So he's the money man,
Yeah.
right?
I'm trying to dabble in a litve bit of everything,
So
but
he knows money. Is that a safe bet to say?
I mean,
you know money.
I mean, that's what I've been doing, man,
Well,
for
good.
the past 10 plus years. So.
Good. So we have a background here. So
Yeah.
Mario's a real estate. You know money. I'm just an entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
I run a service company, so I just know how to get stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a good group. 3 different perspectives on real estate.
Mm-hmm.
3 different ideas on what we got going on.
Okay.
What we do this weekend?
Man, this weekend I was mainly watching the game.
Oh man,
What do you
Going
think?
there again. Well, I really hope the
The Rockies.
Mm.
pull it out this time.
They had to
Game 7 tonight.
Yeah.
I had to represent. I had to have my
Mario's got his rocket gear.
Rocky gear on, ready. I'm currently talking to a landlord.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to a landlord, and I'm talking to 2 landlords. One landlord, I met her when I was in the process of evicting one of my tenants, and we had a conversation, and she basically said that she was gonna have to put $3,500 into her property, and she didn't want to do that. So I told her that I could buy the property from her, and I don't mind renovating it and then either putting a renter or based on the ARV that's after repair value, I'll sell the property. And then I'm also on another property. I have a homegirl. Her mom owns a couple of properties, and I'm going to give her basically a referral fee of $1,000 for that. And then I'm going to purchase the property and either refinance it or flip it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just getting everybody your strategies away right now today, right?
I am. That's free game.
Well,
free
there's
game.
nothing wrong with that.
Nah, that's cool.
I would have kept the numbers out. Kept the numbers out. You paid him her $1,000.
No.
That's
Keep
true.
the numbers out.
My
That's true.
my referral program is based on the property. I give between
All right,
500
good.
and 1,000. So that
Wow,
goes for
you straight.
anybody.
All
That goes
right.
for anybody.
Wow. Okay.
Now you told me you looked at a house this weekend.
I did.
1, 2, how many?
I looked at 2.
Tell us about them.
The Harlem Clark area is really, really booming right now. That like right by Madison, like West Storm to West Storm, the West Storm area, Harlem Clark.
So
like,
from let's say Alameda
Almeda.
to Orem,
Yes.
from South Main to
South Main to
Alameda Genoa.
I think so.
All right, cool.
Yeah, like that area, like if you buy a house under 70,000, and it's a 322 or a 321, like you basically won. And it has to have like at least 1,200 square feet.
We almost bought one together.
Oh yeah, we did.
There was a corner house.
We did.
And the guy wanted 55.
He wanted 50.
It was a 322.
Yes.
And it was in bad shape.
It was like 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, so it was a
Yeah,
big
it was
322
a
in
big
that area.
322.
All of them are usually like 1,100 to 13. Man, 1,300 is probably pushing it, but it's usually 9 to 11 to 12 in that neighborhood. So it was a corner house with a nice 2-car garage, and we were dealing with a wholesaler, and something fell through.
I think you told me you run out of time.
Yeah, he ran out of time. So that's part of the game with this is that the wholesalers have usually 30 days to execute on their contract. It's a paper contract. And so what they do is they go secure the property and then try to find people who actually want to buy it to sell it to us. So if they start running out of time, they start getting pressurized. They're like, hey, can you close in 5 days? Can you close in 10 days? And you're just making it harder for everybody else because of that window. So he ran out of time. And he said that somebody else's he had to buy it himself or something. But I think that whenever there's a story that doesn't add up, don't make sense, it don't make sense.
It just fell through.
Yeah, so I think the deal fell through some sort of way. But that would have been a good one for us. I think we probably could have sold it for 150.
Man, we would have made a killing. Probably, I think 160 though. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not hard to get mortgages, FHA loan or a conventional loan under 200,000. So, we could have winged it, got like 160. We could have easily made like 50,000.
Yeah.
Or
That'd have been cool.
or 30, at least 30.
So, just to broaden this out a little bit, and to make this, I guess, more entrepreneurial, right?
Yeah.
So, this is my big thing.
Yeah.
This is like my first question is,
Okay.
if I gave you $1 million,
What would I do?
what would you do with it? Okay, and so this is like 3 things you can do with it.
Okay.
Would you spend it?
On what?
Ferragamo.
Hold up.
Nah.
Would you spend it? Would you hold it? Or would you invest it?
I would do 2 things. I would pay off all my debt, and then I would invest the rest in real estate.
All of it? You invest all of it?
I would probably.
Invest in what? That's a very broad question. Like,
Okay, I would. This is what I would do with my money. I would pay off all my debt,
all of your debt?
all of my debt.
Okay.
I would, and then after that, I would go to the auction, see what I can get that has equity in it. I'll probably put like 300,000 into that, and then the rest I'll just. No, I'm playing.
I'm saying. I mean, there's
I would invest all of it into real estate. I promise I would.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you think? Let me ask Josh. Josh, what you gonna do with $1 million?
I definitely wouldn't sit on it. And as much as that's typically what I like to do is just watch money grow. Like, ooh, look, I got that much money. But that's actually dumb. So, I would put the majority of it into real estate. I would keep a little of cash holdings just to keep to the side for a rainy day. I'm paranoid of rainy days. It could rain all the time.
Yeah.
So you keep your emergency fund where if something goes wrong and you don't get no money coming in for 6 months, you keep your household going. You keep some away for whatever you got, whatever else, but then the rest just invested. I mean, at that point, but I definitely would pay off any debt I had. Any high interest debt, it just eats a hole into cash.
Exactly.
So, you definitely like right now I'm in the process of just getting rid of all the debt I have. Like, every dollar I have goes towards getting rid of debt.
Okay.
Seemingly,
So
right now we're in the middle of a bathroom remodel, so that's not progress.
Second question. So would you leverage yourself when you're buying these houses? Like, that's another big thing. People want to know, how much cash do I need to buy houses? And like, there's 2 ways that I look at, like, okay, I have $1 million. I can buy 9 small houses and then get $1,200 a month from each. So I'll pull in about $9,000 a month, from and that could retire you, right? About $100,000 a year, right?
Okay.
So that can retire you, but there's the other option of where I can just put down $25,000.
Yep.
And then I'll have, I don't know, how much is that, 30 houses?
Yeah, you probably want to do a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But that's the smarter way is to leverage debt to because you got to do the numbers. I'm not a mathematician, but you got to do the numbers and figure out if 30 houses is going to net you more income per month.
I already did. It does.
What is it?
I know it does.
He's the numbers guy.
It's about $2,000.
It's the money guy.
Yeah, it depends how you do it and how much you're putting down. But
so you probably would want to mix that up then.
Yeah.
Or
no?
Yeah, no. I was thinking because I always look. It's not a perfect game. Now, real estate, on my mind, it's a lot safer because you can actually see what you're doing. Whereas if you were doing that in the stock market, it's a lot more dangerous. You know, your house is not going to just disappear. You know what I'm saying?
That $1 million can in the stock market.
Yeah. Things can go sour quick. So,
but not everybody has $1 million to start. So
Donald Trump did.
It's privileged. So starting from the ground up, anything in entrepreneurship, whether it's real estate, business, it could be hobbies that start into a business. It could be a passion. Some people are passionate about something, and then it turns into a business. You know, for instance, the place that we're in. Shout out to the Media Block.
Yeah.
You know, he turned to passion. He's passionate for filmmaking, you know, producing, a musician, and turned into a business. So
and he didn't go to school for this. Like a lot of people, they graduate and then they try to stick to what they got their major for. Like so he kind of winged it and then he did what he needed to do, and then you know he got his wife involved and then, you know, his wife's sister, and he made it happen.
So now it's a family business.
Exactly.
And I think that I think they got a whole lot of room to grow.
Yeah.
This is just the very beginning of it. So I'm just here to support it.
Yeah. What about
Let me ask Ron a question real quick.
Go ahead.
I think we spoke like a couple of weeks ago, and you said that you were going to get a lot of your money and buy an apartment complex.
Yeah, man. It's everything is a process, and when we're talking about the process of getting in real estate, like what's the start? Do I buy one house, or do I jump into, or do I buy an apartment complex? And so it really matters on where you're at. How much cash do you have? If you have a lot of cash, you can go buy apartment complexes for, let's say, a 40-unit apartment complex would probably run you about, let's say, $2 million, $1 million. You can put down 20%, which is like $200,000, and you can have that apartment complex, 40-unit or apartment complex, right? And so, to me, it matters where you're at. I know that there's some clubs out there where they say once you get 10 houses, then you sell your houses and you buy apartment complexes. It's very logical, you know what I'm saying? But there's some people out there that have 100 houses or have 200 houses, and they don't believe in that because they don't want all their capital concentrated in one place.
Yep.
Where some people want all their tenants in one place. You know what I'm saying? Where you have a management team that oversees all your tenants, right? So it all depends in how much responsibility you want to have. You know, how passive you want it to be.
Different
it's more
strategies.
it's more passive, I think, with apartment complex.
It's different strategies. I mean, there's guys out there that I listen to that are real estate gurus that are anti, you know, multi-units. They're all about single family, and there's guys who are all about multi-units, and so it just depends on, you got to do the numbers.
So many ways to make money.
I'm not a mathematician, but
people do.
I'm gonna come to Ron when it's time.
I've seen people talk about, like, I thought it was foolish, mobile homes, but there are people that are making so much money off of mobile home parks and stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
That's right.
That's right. So I mean, there's so many ways you can make money. That's what you have to understand, and that's why I always say creative finance.
That's right.
If you have one thing to study. I mean, as far as like to where you should start, I say start learning finance, understanding like spreads between, okay, if I got a high interest rate credit card, it's charging me 10-12%, but on this deal I'm making 40%. I can do this. That makes sense.
Yep.
If you're just totally irresponsible and you can't figure out the numbers, maybe you shouldn't be trying to do that bet. But some people can do it in their head all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, that's easy bet. Where I was, when I first started, I was like, any kind of debt is bad debt. And that's where you have these two paradigms. I don't know if you know who Dave Ramsey is.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Ramsey is a talk show host. He talks about he's anti-debt, and then you have people like Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad.
Leverage debt.
He's like, leverage everything, get as rich as you can, by leveraging debt. But leverage yourself if you understand what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it starting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think people got a misconception about debt. Like I watch a lot of Dame Dash, like YouTube videos and stuff, and he kept on saying that Lee Daniels owed him $1 million. Lee Daniels, like, if you see Lee Daniels, tell him to holler at me. He owes me $1 million. Like, Lee Daniels is his super producer, and he borrowed $1 million from Dame Dash because he used OPM, other people's money. He didn't use his own money, and then he did his movies, and now he paid off Dame, and now he probably flipped his money, and he probably didn't use any of his money. His money was just in his savings account, just accumulating interest.
So why is he? I missed the point. Why is he asking for his money back?
He was just I don't know. He just was just being.
He didn't pay him his money back.
No. He paid him back.
He
paid him back now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He paid him back.
Right, yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I mean, banks are important, man. I'm a saver.
So do you subscribe to Ramsey?
I did in the past. I was like, I'll buy all my houses cash and all this other stuff. And then I started reading. I started thinking outside the box, and I started understanding there's two types of debt. You have non-performing debt, which is like your cars and things
stupid debt.
Yeah, stupid debt. There you go. And then you have performing debt, things that
make money,
make you more money. So
there's a guy that I'm going to bring on the show at some point. That's in the very beginning of his real estate ventures, and so we'll talk more about that, debt and leveraging, using the strategy. His strategy that I can tell of so far is to put down roughly $20,000 per house in his strategy. He's in the process of trying to buy 5 houses, so he's hit some bumps along the way. Like he just started it, and we'll talk about it later, but it's turning something bad into something good. And then, of course, there's going to be some struggles. Any entrepreneurship, there's going to be struggles. There's ups and downs and things like that. So
let's touch on contractors real quick. Like let's touch on what's your experiences with contractors?
Man, it's like I personally like to be my own contractor. Like I personally like to broker out the things. Like I want to find my own cabinet guy, my own floor guy, my own sheetrock guy. We got a good one. Yeah, the sheetrock guy, my own painter. And now the bad part about that is you have to use your time, and I'm a man that doesn't have any time. So if I found a contractor who was on time, and I have one guy that is kind of overall can oversee some things. He's not the very best at certain things. Like he may not be the best tile guy. But me, the eye of perfection, walking in, I can say, "Oh, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right." But
sounds like my wife.
Yeah, a tenant walks in there and they're like, "This is beautiful,"
Exactly.
So they don't see anything wrong, and I do. So that's what I'm getting at is like a lot of contractors they'll come in and they charge ridiculous amounts of money just to oversee the project. They're doing the same thing I'm doing. They're going and getting the cabinet guy and this guy and that guy. So if you find one, stick with them. If you find somebody you trust and they never do you wrong, stick with them. But the hard part is those guys, everybody wants them. So unless you keep them busy, they're gonna go take another job. Exactly. And then you can't say, well, let me go find me a house when he's free.
Okay. So how many guys would you say to have on hand? Do you have like 3 or 4?
Man, you have a phone book.
Yeah.
When you store somebody's number, you put Mario, landscaper.
Yeah.
Tile.
Josh, tile.
Yeah.
This guy, sheetrock. This guy, painter. And then when I do is when I need, like Mario one time, he was like, "Hey, do you know an electrician?" So I just typed in electrician in my phone, and 6 people popped up, and I'm sending all here. Call this guy.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep these guys on standby, and you'll find one in each field that you can trust and you can kind of go to, like an AC guy. Mario has an AC guy. I have an AC guy. So like whether it's my personal house or another house has a problem, say, hey, let me call. His name is Alan. Let me call Alan and get him over here and fix it. So, but other people use a contractor. They only call that one contractor.
I think with that, somebody can hold you pretty much hostage.
Yeah.
Like you're doing a job, it has to be done by a certain time, and they've only done a certain percentage, and they're not showing up because they got a job that's more lucrative.
Yep.
Right. So it's. I mean, I think you should have like 4 or 5. Just keep, like you said, keep a Rolodex.
Well, but the other thing is, how much do you know about construction? So I don't know everything, but I know a lot. So if I'm a noob and I don't know anything,
let's go from noob's perspective. Go ahead.
You better hire a contractor because you're gonna burn a hole in your pockets trying to figure something out you don't know how to figure out, or somebody's gonna come in and say, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that," and you don't have to do none of it.
I think from what you're saying is like I've been understanding. There's a process. Like some things have to be up first. You can't put your sheetrock up if your electrical ain't done, right?
That's right. That's right.
You know.
Yeah.
So
plumbing too.
Exactly.
It's all mechanical. Yeah. It's all mechanical things first. Plumbing, electrical, AC, and roofs, and then you get into the other stuff.
Yeah.
I think you kind of need to do your roof first. Like that's number one because then all your stuff is gonna get wet, and then after that, then you go into electrical, plumbing. It doesn't really matter the order.
No, yeah.
And then sheetrock. Sheetrock is like that's gonna burn a hole in your pocket if you don't have the right person.
Okay.
And you got to make sure everything is done in the wall before you sheetrock it.
Exactly.
You know, you got to make sure your electrical's where you want it. You got to make sure your plumbing's where you want it. All that stuff. Whether if you're running speaker wires or whatever, all that's got to be in before you run sheetrock.
All right. So the other part about the contract, I don't want to talk too much about contracting, but I think another thing that's important is when do you pay the contractor? I think both of y'all kind of like went at it a little bit, and I heard, and like I went to a seminar and they came up with a solution that I like. So
what they say?
25%.
Yeah, well, they said let them break it into stages. Yeah. Let them do 25% of the job, right? And then you pay them 25%. So they're just doing part of the job, and then once they do that, you give them a little check, and then you know that way. Let them do it with their capital, and the faster they work, the more they get that 25% quicker, right? Rather than giving all the money up front. But go ahead.
I mean, it's about trust and it's about loyalty to me. I think those are the two major things with contractors because contractors will leave a job. They will leave your job if somebody else offers them more money, like in a heartbeat. So if you got trust and loyalty, and they understand that you have a deadline, then they'll stay. I literally fired at least two, three contractors at a time because they left my job and took another job, or they didn't work every day.
Well, I mean that kind of goes with what I'm saying. If you pay them 25%, like damn, you know they'll be like, you know, more motivated to get that check. Well, I'm just gonna.
What about this?
Don't pay them anything.
Go ahead.
Write a contract up that says they can't take another job until they're done.
I don't think people care about contracts to a certain extent.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead, but I mean to a certain extent, who it is, I don't. Yeah. I don't work with these guys, but I'm just imagining.
I mean, and then how are you going to enforce it? But I would have it in writing. You don't take another job until this job is complete. Yeah. To a certain degree, because the contractors are going to leverage themselves out. Like they have what they call a make-ready guy. So when they do all the big stuff, then they send this make-ready guy to do all the little odds and ends. Like you ever walk through a new house and they have the little blue tape everywhere, you know, taping off the imperfections. They send somebody over there who does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, replace a light, replace a bulb, touch up a wall. So there's a bunch of that goes on in construction. And usually the contractor has already moved the main crew or the main body of workers to another job, and then he's stretching himself out trying to get the little stuff done at your property. So that's the part that kills me, is because that drags on and on and on and on and on. Especially if you already paid him, you already paid the guy, you're not going to get him to show up on time. So, but if you owe him another $5,000, then he's gonna be like, I got to get this done because I want that money. It's holding me up in the next job.
And then like real quick, under no circumstance pay the contractor everything up front. I
don't even believe in half. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
No, bro.
I'm kind of.
At first, I had to though, because I didn't have a relationship.
Guilty.
Yeah.
I didn't have a relationship. Now I got a relationship with him. I could show him my body at work. Look, this is what I do. This is what I do for a living. This is how I make money. This is how I pay my bills. So they understand that I'm gonna pay them. And I'll be like, well, you could go talk to my sheetrock guy Daniel. Or you go talk to my electrician.
can't give no
I
names
step-
out, bro.
I know.
Or you can go talk to my electrician, and they'll tell you like, "Oh, Mario pays me. You know, he
Yeah.
pays me on time. He pays me like I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll go to the bank and I'll take their money out right away if they're done.
To me, it's like the burden of proof goes on them. It's like, hey, you do 25% of the job. Obviously, I want this whole thing completed. If you do 25% of the work, hey.
I like that
yeah.
approach. I mean,
25%?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that approach.
That's
So,
cool.
But
heard we got a guest today, huh?
Yeah, we do.
oh
We
yeah,
do.
I mean, so the main theme of like today is like entrepreneurship.
Okay.
With a little bit of real estate.
With a little bit of real estate, empowering, people, empowering themselves to, to break away from the 9 to 5, or just do things that are important to yourself. That's how I look at it. You don't have to get away from 9 to 5. That's not your MO. So.
Alrighty. Well, Mario, you introduced our guest.
This is Ashley Zachary. This is my wife's best friend. She's gonna talk to us about entrepreneurship and what she has going on. She's about to plug her business ventures in.
Ashley, throw on those headphones right there,
Right.
and let's get you going. You hear everybody? Yeah. Good.
Scoot more over here.
Yep. If you can bring that mic as close as you can to your mouth, so we can hear you. It moves. You can.
Yeah, she good
There
now.
you
You
go.
good now?
All right. Go ahead, Mario. Tell us about Ashley.
She has a blog. She does photography. What else?
Or should we let Ashley tell us about
Yeah,
Ashley?
Yeah,
Go
let's,
ahead.
Go ahead, Ashley. Never mind, Mario.
Go ahead.
Hey everyone, my name is Ashley and I'm the creator of the
Y'all hear?
Lady.
Yeah.
yeah, get the mic a little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit
My name
closer.
is Ashley and I'm the creator of the Ladies Cafe Lounge. And the Ladies Cafe Lounge is my brand. And I'm super excited because last year I launched my website.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much my website.
What's the website?
www.theladiescafelounge.com.
The Ladies Cafe Lounge.com.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
everybody
Ladies
got that?
Cafe Lounge.
All right.
And my goal is to make my website a one-stop shop website. So I'm working on the store, which pretty much I'm working on designing t-shirts and accessories. And I also do photography on the side. So, and then the blog post, I pretty much write about self-love, motivation, entrepreneurship. So everything is all located on the website. So that's why I
Okay.
want to make it a one-stop shop.
What's your goal? What do you
My goal is to have events like women empowerment seminars, just to encourage women like, hey, you could do whatever you put your mind to. Because like me, it started out as a dream, and then I was like, you know what? I need to just get up
Do
and
it,
do
right?
it. Yeah.
So, what's your background? Like, did you go to school for what you're doing, or what's your background just in general? Just in general
My
background.
I've been in the oil and gas field since 2000.
Oil and gas,
Yeah,
okay.
Oil and gas since 2009, and I was laid off 2015. So that's why I was like, you know what? I need to start doing.
You need to
something
start
different.
working on you, right? Because anything can happen at any moment, especially when you have other people controlling your destiny,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it feels good to. That's the thing about. I call it freedom. With freedom comes responsibility, right? The more freedom you have to do what you want to do, more responsibility is.
exactly?
You have to do a little bit more thinking, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So back to the layout. So it happened so quick. It was a Wednesday, and they basically told me Friday that was my last day. So that was my first time ever being laid off. So I was laid off for like 6 months.
Wow.
And during this 6 months, I pretty much was applying for jobs, and then I'm like, you know what? I started writing, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting kind of good at this stuff. So then that's when the blog came about. So I'm like, I just see the brand just being so big, just helping people. So that's how the Ladies Cafe Lounge came out.
The Ladies.
The
Is it
Ladies Cafe Lounge.
LADYS?
Yeah, no,
LADIES. Okay.
Yes.
There, okay.
Can guys view the website, or is this all secret
Yes.
information?
And I also want to show my cell phone case because this is my
Okay.
mascot.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is
Let me
my
see.
mascot.
I don't even know if we can show that to the camera.
I am
That's
successful.
nice. Go ahead. You-
Push it right
Right there.
Right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can you see
So
that?
that's the ladies' cafe lounge
can you see
mascot.
that?
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Alright,
see. I can
alright,
see.
cool.
All right, cool.
So that's just some of the accessories I'm working on. I just want to create something because I'm big on like reading self-help books, because if you read self-help books, it's gonna train like your mindset. So
That is important. Very
Who,
important.
who do you look up to, like your mentors and stuff, people like that?
I want to say I utilize YouTube a lot, you guys, because they have so many greats. I want to say Les Brown.
Oh man,
Les
that's
Brown.
my
He's a
favorite.
Motivational speaker.
Wow.
So
I like Les
while
Brown.
I'm at work, I listen to him in the morning time, and it just puts me in the right state. Like,
Man, he's like one of my favorite. Like he has the best story.
Yeah, he
yes,
does.
Yeah.
I
So.
like him. And I like to hear stories of people, you know, that came from backgrounds, like poor backgrounds, because it encourages you, like, hey, you know, if they made it, you can make it too.
It's
True.
It's all mindset. I think a lot of just things that limit us is mindset, and it's from people saying negatives to us. Things when we're childhood. It's like not having a lot of experiences. That's why I say, like, I don't have any kids, but if I do have kids, I'm like, they're gonna have a lot of experiences. Like they're not gonna be afraid to do anything new. That's the big problem that I see. People are just so afraid to do something new because their brain is gonna have to turn on, and then they're gonna have to, they're gonna have to move outside their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that's good that you're like getting outside your comfort zone.
Oh,
You know.
yeah, that's why I say you have to read. I have a list of book titles that I have, just for those that's watching and they want to know what type of books. I like this book. It's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And I like it because every day, you know, we sweat on little small stuff, and it's really not that big. That's really a good self-help book. I like that. Also, let's see, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself. That's another book I read.
Yeah.
And all of these are audio books you can.
I was gonna ask you that. Are you reading all these books?
Audio books, but I also like to buy hard copies.
Oh, okay. Like so you can underline stuff and stuff like that. Yeah, that was my secret. I don't like reading books. That sounds kind of stupid.
Wow.
But
I don't like reading books either.
No.
I went through like when I learned about all these audio books, I was like, I went through like 30 books in like 6 months, just because I drive so much in my car, and that's when you're not doing anything, or you're waiting on something, just pop in an audio book and then learn. You know what I'm saying?
Because Houston traffic, hey,
Yep.
an hour,
exactly.
I commute from the Galleria to the northwest side of town, so hey, audiobooks.
Yep.
Are
Turn off the radio. Listen to audiobooks.
Exactly. Are you doing this full time, or are you doing it part time, or?
Part-time, so
Okay.
right now I work from 6 o'clock to 3:30. And that's a motivation for me because I'm like, I go to work, I'm in traffic, I'm working for somebody else's dream. So I'm like, if I can dedicate 9 hours, then when I get off, I need to dedicate that same energy for my business.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So that's my motivation.
You know that feeling when you get up in the morning, you don't want to go to work. You know, you wake up, you're like,
It's Monday.
Yeah, I never had that feeling.
See?
And the reason why is because you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, like there's sometimes I do have that feeling when it's something, you know, like I know it's not like I don't feel like going to work. It's more like I have a long day today. Like I'm not gonna get back home until
Midnight.
11 midnight, 2 in the
Yeah.
morning because I know I'll be working all day. So that feeling, there's a different feeling because it's you're doing something for you. So just my advice is if that's what you want to do full time, keep working until, like I was telling who was I was having a conversation with somebody and I said, it was the podcast here last time, whenever you walk it into your door at work and you're losing money, then that's when it's time to go, you know, and fulfill and pursue your full-time goal. So just keep working at it. That's a part of my advice. I don't know what advice you got, Mario.
I think when, like I said, like last podcast, you just have to have an end game. Like I'm gonna be working here till like the end of the year, another 2 years. I mean, I know you don't have any kids, right?
No.
You know, you don't have any kids. You're not married. A lot of times, like, you know, your significant other, they could be holding you back because they don't have a job and you got to pay their bills, or they have a drug habit. You don't know, you know.
So you're in a prime situation. You what I was talking about earlier, your overhead's low. It's just you, right?
Yeah, it's just me.
So you're in a prime situation to get into whatever business you want to get into full time, if that's what you want to do. It can remain a hobby. It can remain something that you're passionate about, but if you want it to replace your job, it can. But you're in the best position
She is.
that you could be in. You don't have a kid asking you for milk and cereal after 3 o'clock. You don't have, these outrageous bills, a house and a car, and you may have all that stuff, but you don't have all this stuff piled up. A spouse that you have to go home and cook for, or go to the grocery store and go shopping. So all this stuff that comes with as you get older makes it harder for you to, you hear, I'm sure this is a woman's empowerment movement. So I'm sure there's married women who have ideas and dreams that they can't pursue because they have their family situation that's in the forefront. So they're sacrificing themselves and their dreams and goals for the betterment of their kids or their family. So you don't have that, and so you put on your rocket boots and go full-fledged at it.
Okay, do you have any a mentor, somebody that's really successful in the field that you're trying to be in?
No, and that's what I'm actually looking for now, because I'm like, I'm at a stage, I need a mentor. So
I think that is
ask for it.
so important.
Ask for it, yeah.
Just like with the whole real estate, I think to go in it blind, I think it just wastes a lot more time. I'm not saying what you're doing, but I'm looking at real estate as an example. It's like, hey, if I don't know something, I want somebody I can call. To somebody that has already, got the bumps and bruises that I don't want to get. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I kind of look at it. Anything you want to be good at, even if it's like fatherhood or anything like that, you're like, hey, get a mentor, somebody that's good at it, and just ask them everything that you want to know about that field. So
Use social media.
Yes, but the good thing is this year I told myself at the beginning of the year my goal is to go to a lot of networking events. So far I probably went to 3 events, and it's women's events, so that's my way of networking with women from all different fields. So I'm very big on networking.
Do you have a YouTube?
Yes, I just started my YouTube.
I was like, I think
what is it?
that
What's the channel?
is the start. You know what I'm saying?
It is, right? But talking on camera, I'm like,
you got to get used
just
to
talk.
it.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah,
get
just
used
talk.
to it.
So
What's the YouTube?
Okay, so YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook, all under the Ladies Cafe Lounge.
Okay.
Ladies Cafe
And
Lounge.
it's TheLadies Cafe Lounge.
And,
Gotcha.
And guys, y'all can
You can
check
go
it
there
out
too.
too. See,
Yeah.
women's empowerment secrets.
Yes.
Yeah.
So follow. My advice is as I use Gary Vee's advice.
I like Gary Vee.
Yeah, reach out to people that you want to connect with on Instagram. Even if they tell you no 10 times, they might tell you yes the 12th time or whatever. So you inbox influential women that are in the city. There's a ton of them. There's a guy that's in network marketing called his name is Holton Buggs. His wife does what you want to do. I guarantee it. So look her up.
Okay, I
Reach
will.
out. Go to some of her events. Reach out to her. Maybe she'll reach back or help you out. I know that Emmett Smith's wife in Dallas does a lot of stuff, for women empowerment. Look at what she does. Follow her plan. Follow her business plan maybe, and see what you can take from that and apply it to yourself and your business.
Didn't you have a seminar not too long ago that my wife went to?
The launch
No.
party? Oh, yeah, the launch party.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was okay. So that was me launching my website, and that was a proud moment for me because again, when I was laid off, I was just lounging on the couch. But for me, I set goals, and I'm like, you know what? October, I want that to be my lunch party. So yes, I was super excited. I got to show my accessories, and I wasn't telling family and friends nothing until that launch party. So that was
Great.
a proud moment. So, and I'm big on you have to cheer yourself on. You can't wait around for the next person to be like, go, go. No, you have to motivate yourself. Any little type of goal, that's a proud moment.
So are you gonna have is that gonna be an annual event, or are you gonna do that again? So
Just
I'm asking you so you could tell everybody when the next date is gonna be.
Yes, and I'm glad you asked. Yes, I do plan on having motivation parties. So I'm big on positivity, law of attraction, or whatever, and that just means you just have to have this positive mind frame. So I want to have parties where people can come, network with other women, but you're leaving motivated. So I am
Awesome.
working on that.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Good. Anything else for her? Mario, you got some more advice?
No, that's it. So, do you plan on getting into real estate in the future, or?
Yes, I am because I'm big on investing, and I read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and yeah.
Everybody needs to read that book.
It changes your mind,
Yeah, it
does.
your mindset. You know.
Yep.
Yes.
If you haven't read that book, then you don't even have a basis to start on yet. So everybody needs to read that book or listen to it.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and listen to it. It's easier to listen.
I read it. I read it when I was like
Yeah.
17 or 18 or
Yeah.
a long time ago. But I've listened to it 3 or 4 more times, and every time I listen to it, I pick something else up, another gem that I can use, or oh man, my life has changed in the past 2 years, and now this I understand what he was saying when he said this or XYZ. So you keep going back to those books, like your Les Brown books. Go back, listen to it again. Go another year, listen to it again. That's my advice.
Okay.
Yes.
Learn how to sell.
Oh yeah, and I like how you break it down: liability and assets. How cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought
Knowing
a brand
that-
new car, and I'm like, that was right after I read the books. I'm like,
You weren't feeling so happy about that.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, let me touch on that real quick. Like, I think like a lot of the millennials and just young people, like they would rather have like a really nice car than to have a really nice house. And I think that's like what's wrong with like people coming up. It's like they rather have like a E-Class or than to have like an actual house. Like all that money, the interest that you spent on that car, you could have got you a little property, and then
I think we're kind of conditioned to be trained to increase our liabilities. I don't know. That's it. I don't know, man. We're constantly being marketed to, constantly. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know that. So we are in America. You know what I'm saying?
This is America.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
Yeah.
and, what's his name? Dr. Umar. He said that I think black people are the biggest consumers of Mercedes Benzes. And he said they have like the least income or something like that. And then
Maybe the medium income, if you were to divide it by race, could be lower.
No, man.
I don't know.
I sold mine though, so I don't know if I fall in that category.
I never had one.
Oh,
Never had a
really?
Benz.
No, I had a BMW. We had a 7 Series, and it was the worst car. It was the best car to drive. It was fast. It was a great ride. But every 2 months, that little ding went off, and you take it to the dealership.
$1,200
Yes,
leave your pocket.
yeah.
$1,200.
I was
$1,200.
like, man, that's the last foreign car I'll buy.
Sure.
Again, we're conditioned to buy nice things. It's the
Yeah.
Jones effect.
Yeah.
You know, I can use something simple as like, if I go out and I re-landscape my yard, well, 2 houses down, the neighbor's going to do it too.
Yeah.
If I go out and buy me a new truck, one of my other neighbors going to buy a new truck too, because he's like, oh, my truck's old, it is. I want that new truck. So it's just how we are. It's just the situation we're in America, and it can't be a bad thing, but that's where materialism comes into play. Are you content with what you have? Like, can you drive a good, nice running vehicle? And then, and I love cars. I'm a car guy, but I'm not going to go out and buy an expensive car yet.
Well, as far as like, what do you see any trends that we're seeing that millennials are not buying houses and a lot of people are moving downtown. They have these high-rise buildings where you have these nice apartments, and then you look at them, they have Starbucks on the lower level, and they have stores on the lower level. So we're seeing that people are upping their liabilities to where they're paying $2,500 a month on rent, and they're making.
It's not going anywhere.
Well, they have to keep those jobs in
it's
order
going
to
somewhere. It's going
exactly.
in somebody else's pocket.
To the person that owns that building.
Yeah,
exactly. So so people are increasing their liabilities, but yet they're not increasing their passive income. So the key, like I always say, is passive income. Up your passive income. So
and it's not to discredit that, because there are some guys that are young, they're making a ton of money, they got nice cars, they live in a condo, and they truly can afford their lifestyle. There's some people that want that appearance and truly can't afford that lifestyle. So everybody's different. You have to you got to stay in your lane, is that old saying. So you stay in your lane, and you know what you can do. Everybody wants something nicer and new, but you've got to know your situation.
What if you instead of getting a $2,500 a month, you're making good income, you get a $1,500 a month. You got an extra $1,000 a month to play with.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, you have $12,000.
People don't look at it
I
like that.
mean,
You're a money man.
I'm
You
just
look at
saying
it.
that's a lot of.
People don't look at it like
that's
that.
That's at least one Bitcoin. So.
Yeah, they don't look at it like that. They look at it as I got $1,000 to go to the club tonight, and I got another $1,000 or $500. I got to go buy a Ferragamo belt. The Ferragamo King over here.
Yeah.
Well, those were gifts. Those were gifts.
Disclaimer. So it just depends. But that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart thinking. What
Yeah.
you're saying is
Yeah.
1 year of that savings can put you a down payment on a house to have a renter in it.
Or buy a lot. You could buy a lot, sit on a lot
mean,
for like 5 years until the property goes up. It's gonna go up. It's not gonna go down.
You're buying your freedom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything. You got something?
And then back to the millennials. I think like the whole Instagram, like just trying to show off and
Social
stunt.
media.
Yeah, it's
it
to
depends
another
on-
level now.
It depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to start a blog or something like that, you need to get heavily into that to make a name for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so, even like what we're doing, we're bringing on guests and stuff like that. It's a good way to even promote your own show. You know what I'm saying? So I think in this day and age, small fish can become big fish. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have a plan to monetize?
Oh,
Your blog?
That was a good question.
That's what I'm working on.
Okay.
So I've been doing my research on how I can monetize.
Okay, good. You don't need to spill it. Just have a plan.
Yeah.
But I also want to touch back on Rich Dad Poor Dad and the whole liability and assets. So right now I'm actually at a point where I'm looking for a house. And with the whole investing, I've been renting for so long, and of course the money is going to the people that own apartments.
That's right.
But
Yep.
now I'm looking for a house. It's and I know it's going to be an investment in the long run.
So make it an investment. So don't buy a house retail. Buy a house that you can fix up and have some equity in it. When you get done fixing it up, you're talking to guys right there.
I know.
Right there.
Yeah.
Do you know the location right now? Do you have an idea?
Here he comes. He's talking his talk now.
It's gonna be in.
Probably northeast side.
Okay.
Northeast side. Okay.
Yeah.
So just keep saving your money,
Yeah.
and when you're ready, tell Mauro to find you a deal.
Okay, that'll
Yep.
work. Well, I would work it like right now on the south side, like in the Loop, like anywhere. Like, man, I think people just want to live by Reliant, the Galleria. They want to live by the medical center.
That goes back to Clark. Medical Center, Galleria is right there. All that it's right there by that place.
I think if you get anything under 200,000 right now, in 5 years, it's going to be, you're probably going to gain like 20, 30,000 in equity.
Yep.
Probably. I always got to say probably at the end because somebody's gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But
Probably.
Are you going for the Rockets or the Warriors?
Of course I'm going for Rockets.
All day.
All right. Good.
You're on the right
Good.
side.
Yes.
What did I have? I was gonna say. Okay. Can you talk about or just any of you guys talking about building your confidence? I think that is so important.
Yeah, it is.
Like I could just think of where I started and where I'm at right now. Like understanding that there's a process to like anything that you do. Like what kind of things are where did you get your confidence from? When did it start? Like you told
start with me? You wanna start with me?
I'll start with you. The thing about like
Because you're talking to me,
all right.
I feel I'm on the
All
spot.
right. No, the thing that I noticed about you, I kind of, just from what you told me, I think you got your confidence young because you said you were in advanced classes. People told you were smart.
Yeah.
So you were expected to succeed, right?
No, that wasn't expected to do anything
All right,
because I
see,
didn't go to
that
school.
was my assumption.
Well,
But you knew in your head, or something. I think you had some sort of confidence inside of you.
No viewers take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
But as a young man, I wanted to be wealthy. I mean, it's just bottom line. I said that wrong because it sounds
Pretty arrogant.
yeah, it's arrogant. but that's my goal. Like, people have the comment, it's not always about money. And it's not because I've seen everything in my life. Death, sickness, everything. So I feel like at the end of the day, it's just options. It's just more options.
Yeah.
You get a better seat at the stadium, right? That's it. That's all it is. Yeah. So those options that you have with hard work, gives you things that like in other words, you have a choice of where you want to live at, your choice of your surroundings. If you only make X amount of dollars, you don't have a choice in your surroundings. You have to live in the hood, or you have to be, in an area where maybe you're even on housing or something. And there's nothing wrong with that, but those are your choices. Anybody in any of those situations can get out of it. My question is, do you want to get out of it, or are you comfortable? Like, personally, I can't sit down and watch more than an hour of TV. I just can't do it because I feel like I'm wasting my time. I would rather go cut my yard. I would rather go wash my truck. I would rather go in the office and do a little bit of work. I would rather, I don't know, I'd rather go take my son down the road than sit there and watch TV, Now, I watch YouTube and I watch podcast, I listen to podcasts and I read books or listen to them. So those are things I'm doing. It's a constant self-improvement. So I feel that now some people, they don't do that. That's just not what they want to do. So when you say confidence, my confidence comes from what I want. I know what this other side is. I grew up with little means. I don't want that.
Itself. Like, what motivates you? Is it like I always ask this question? What motivates you? Is it fear? Or is it love? Like, are you afraid?
Fear. I'm afraid of
same
fear.
Same here. Fear.
That's fear. I don't.
You've seen the other side. You
you
run away from it.
Yeah. Growing up as a kid, as a little 5-6-year-old kid, there was family members who had items. They had things. Now, whether they got those things legally or not, they had money, and then there was parts of the family that didn't. And I clearly want this side better. Like I get an example. This sticks with me forever. One of my grandpas, when the Nintendo came out, the very first Nintendo, he took me in Toys R Us, and he's like, "Okay, get the Nintendo." I said, "Okay, cool." In my mind, I'm like, I get a Nintendo. That right there was just, you bought me a Nintendo, which is cool, which is the only game system I ever bought. So you get the Nintendo, and he was like, "Okay, now get the games. Get whatever game you want." And I was like, "Whatever game I want?" He's like, "Yeah, well, just get them all." I was like, "I could get every game that's on the shelf?" It's like, back then it was only 10, 12 games, but I bought every game, and I was like, "That's what I want." I don't want to ever have to go in Toys R Us and just say, "We can't get the Nintendo, son. We got to get the, we got to get this." So, and I feel like hard work gets you there. Hard work gets you there. What she's doing, hard work is going to get you there. And that's my only thing. Hard work, and learn how to sell. The sell runs everything.
The art of the sell.
In sports, when somebody has a off the court or off the field issue, right? What fixes that? Any
A conversation?
No. Like if you get caught drunk driving or something, or you're smoking a substance,
the way you talk, you can talk your way out of the situation.
Winning fixes that. If
you're talking about like Kobe?
Kobe Bryant, nobody brings up that old stuff because he's a winner. Michael Jordan, he has a little gambling issue. Nobody brings that up because he's a champ. He's a winner. So in business, selling is winning. So when you sell, you get over all the humps. It doesn't matter. I make mistakes. You make all sorts of mistakes. I lost money here, lost money there, lost money here, but I keep selling. You keep winning. So you relate business to sports or anything else, even in real estate. You keep selling. Keep selling yourself to get the next deal. When Mario goes in there and talks to somebody to try to buy their house, they're buying Mario. They're not necessarily buying it. They're buying what Mario's telling them. So you work on that craft.
I think the biggest thing you just said right there is you got to have some wins under your belt. Because I've seen so many people that are very, very intelligent. They just don't have the wins under their belt to move them forward. So I think you just need like small wins, and then you need to build up, and you need to get your confidence from stuff like small wins. So that's why I said, if you got kids, put them in make them do everything. Give them a lot of wins, because just because I know some people that will pull their kids out of, let's say, karate. Oh, he's bored of that. He's tired of that. Make him.
You don't know that.
Yeah,
you don't know that.
Yeah, when you're 5 years old, you get tired of everything.
Yeah, he might grow up to be the best black belt in the city. You just don't know. Same thing with football. Oh, he don't like football. That might have been the Heisman Trophy winner right there. You just took him out at 5. You cut his legs off.
Yeah. Okay. What about you as far as confidence? When's your confidence start to just where you just knew that you've come into yourself?
Probably like out of high school. I had a lot of teachers that just, man, they try to mess up my confidence. They told me that I wasn't gonna amount to nothing. And, I had a one specific art teacher. She told me that she told me that I was gonna live with my parents for the rest of my life.
So let me guess. Fear motivated you, right?
It fueled me, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Fear of
just,
living with your parents, right?
yeah. She said I was gonna be one of the people that one of the kids that just like walk outside that door and just stand there all day and just watch all the cars drive by. She literally said that.
Well,
Now she's a renter.
Let me just put it like this.
Yeah, now she's my tenant.
Did it work though?
No, it did.
She was trying to scare you. I'm
yeah.
sure she was not being mean.
No. I think a lot of it was like some malicious intent. Like seriously, I really.
He tried to get the teacher the benefit of the doubt.
I really believe that. Like she just. I think she was jealous because I grew up with both of my parents or something. It was like I don't know why, but she just really like.
That's a whole nother topic.
We're not gonna.
That's a whole nother topic, man.
We'll have a psychologist on next week, so we'll figure out. Why we act the way.
Well, good.
What about yourself as far as confidence to, like? Did you feel like your back was against the wall that you just had to do it, or have you always like whenever your goal you have done, you've already just automatically achieved it? Like, what gives you your confidence?
Well, I doubt myself a lot, and that's what I'm working on. But with a blog, like when I'm writing a blog, once I click publish, then it's like, now the world can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and public speaking. So when I did my lunch party, I was nervous, but once I started
just
talking,
make yourself do it.
Bam,
Yep. Practice.
That's so important. That's what I tell people. Like, as far as if you want to do something and you're apprehensive about it, like as far as like public speaking, you just got to do it a million times in front of the mirror.
What about you? What about you? What builds your confidence?
The wins. That's the only thing that I can point to that has built my confidence a lot. Of like, I tell you the truth, I didn't think I was graduating from high school. I didn't think I was smart enough because, like you said, you had teachers tell you certain things. You take tests, they tell you certain things. You have people in your family or somebody else that tells you certain things. You start to believe the lies, right? You don't even know your own capabilities. That's what I tell people. You don't even know what you can do. You don't know what you can do until you try to do it.
Until you jump out there.
We're constantly judging ourselves, and you just gotta. That's why I said you have to learn how to learn things,
and then
action. Take actions.
That's number one. Take action.
Just do it.
Just do it.
I always say you can't sit down and think it's gonna appear like a genie. Even if it's a baby step, you just never know. Like you might start meeting all the right people that's gonna lead you to whatever you're trying to do. So action.
That's right. Have
to take
action. You can't sit on the sideline. Like you just can't sit on the sideline and think that you're gonna do this and do that and it's gonna magically pop up. I see it all the time. Many people come and say, "What do you think about this, Josh? What do you think about that?" And I don't have an opinion on much, but it's like, unless you're gonna do it, then execute. Just do it. Just execute. Just figure out what it is that's and you may not figure it out right away. You may not figure out how to. I was talking about monetizing, your blog. It may be years down the road. You may run across something else that moves you that way, that brings money in, and but you never knew that. So until you get out there and start doing it, you'll never know that.
Everything builds on something else. So as long as you're pushing forward, I think that, like, even if you did something other than a blog, but the blog taught you how to market.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I look at it. Everything builds on something else. I've done businesses and stuff, and now I want to try to go to real estate. Now I'm more confident. And I understand, that I have to use certain softwares for accounting and all this stuff, and that I know that I hate accounting now.
Man,
so that
me too.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to either push that off on somebody else and pay them, or I need to keep up with it because that's very important in a business.
Pay them. Professionals deserve to get paid.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So I got myself in the biggest hole with accounting, trying to do it on my own or trying to get my secretary to do stuff. I just got to pay somebody. Yeah. I'm right in the middle of switching bookkeepers and CPAs and all the tax attorneys and all the crap. So just let somebody. You think it's an expense, but it's not an expense. It's something that you're going to have. So when money starts rolling in, or you start, even start small. It doesn't mean. When it's a lot of money coming in, then you got a bigger problem. Yeah. You got more problems. That old more money, more problems saying is true. So when you start small, you have a process. that's going on. I have a individual that's confident that is all about processes. He's an HR guy, and he's like, you need to do this, do this, do this, do this. And so I use him. He comes in and gives me processes. Without processes,
That's right. You stay organized that
that's
way.
right. Yep.
That's good.
Yep. So we have another guest today.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for
Ashley.
coming.
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Oh, plug,
One more time, tell
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah,
tell everybody
plug in
the
real quick.
yeah, the Instagram, the
Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, and YouTube. The Ladies Cafe Lounge. You can follow me.
Okay.
TheLadies Cafe Lounge.
okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow you right.
Yeah, make sure you promote Mario's Real Estate Guru to your audience as well. Cross promo.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So thanks for having me, guys.
All right.
All right.
Good.
Thank you for coming, Ashley.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep up the hard work.
I will.
All right.
Yeah.
So, how are we gonna tie this all back to real estate?
Well, let me introduce him.
Okay, we can. Yeah.
Okay, well, coming up is my boy, my best man.
This is your best man?
This is my best man.
What's up, man? Oh yeah, okay, I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one with the hot wife.
Oh, what?
The hot wife.
What?